Peter. We are just about ready to start game 2 of the day between Vermont and Virginia. Both teams coming in off losses from yesterday. Virginia lost to Montana 142 to 94, and Vermont loses to Kansas 159 to 71. I'm here with a load of sarcasm. Welcome.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks so much for the overview from yesterday. I know I missed it entirely, so it's nice to kind of come in and have a little game setting here. So I'll go ahead and I'll introduce the Virginia team. We've got number 011, River Strong, number 1, Sacagawea, 13, Towner, 14, Fizzgig, number 178, Raven Darkhold, 1883, Scoriental Express, number 19, Angry Penguin, 1915, Ziploc, number 2, Garrus, 23, Blaxican Ninja, 247, Swiss Spanker, number 42, Country Jam, 47, Skate Monster, number 5, Stone Wallop, 500, Lambert, 63, Shank, 7, Smack Mamba, 854, Zionara, number 9, T, 999 Raygun. Back at you, Peter.
All right, and for Vermont, wearing the C today is a Felon of Troy wearing number 1000. 1111 is Schemetress. Number 13 is Pumpkin Carve Her. Number 1313 is Flutter Rage. Number 19, Beast Infection. 2, Bruce Fentuna. Number 20, Sarah Quill XR. Number 24, Sabotage Sabal. Number 2400, Midnight Crasher. Number 32, Curb Stomp. 369 is Snatch McCracken. Number 4, Ivory Tower. Number 44, Cryptip Kablam. Number 45, Black Mamba. 528, Ginger Vitus. 717, Bertha Blue Blazes. Number 8, The Jessicutioner. Number 88, Pale Raptor. And 887 is Clitorisk. They'll be coached by Bliss and Velocity Raptor with Bleeding Glory helping out as needed.
All right, and I forgot to mention the coaches for Virginia. We've got Speed Junkie, Ruby Rottweiler, and Tornado.
And we are underway in this second game of the day, and Vermont quickly takes the lead as Sabal rushes out for lead before turn 1.
We've got Stone Wallop wearing the star for Virginia. Out of the pack, completing an initial.
Now, Sabal had a wonderful game. She took the MVP award for the game they played yesterday against Kansas. Having a little trouble getting through the pack this time, however.
And it looks like she's going to be sent to the penalty box for a cut track. We've got Stone Wallop through on a scoring pass. Took it to the outside of turn 1 on that last round. This time taking it straight up the middle. One last defender to beat, and that is an additional pass.
Pumpkin finds her way up front to get the rest of the pack, but meanwhile, Stone Wallop is through as they pick up 4 more points. And the penalty box is now empty as both skaters from each team are back, so we are back to full strength.
First jam of this game, and we're going to have the full 2 minutes here.
Ivory Tower being sent to the penalty box for Vermont. And both picking up 4 points on that pass. A good sign for Vermont. They took them almost 4 jams to get any points yesterday. They were down 27-0 early.
We've got Stone Wallop through 4 additional points on the board for Virginia.
Oh, big news here as Sable goes back to the penalty box for her second jammer penalty of the first jam of the game.
I missed that second penalty, unfortunately.
I didn't see what it was, but she's back sitting. And again, as we mentioned, I don't know if we have mentioned yet on air. I know we were talking about it off air. Of course, in this format, 40-minute games, 20-minute halves, skaters will only have 5 penalties instead of the typical 7 from a larger game. They also only get 2 timeouts and 1 official review, which regardless of whether they win or not, they do not retain.
Got it. Good to know. Thanks for the overview. All right, so that's a big first jam for Virginia. 28 points rather on the board. Sorry, folks. Like a half a cup of coffee in this morning. I'm exhausted. Bear with me. 28 points for Stone Wallop. The only jammer out there for quite a while because Sabal, two jammer penalties right there in the first jam. So 28-6.
It looks like they have released Sable from the penalty box, so we will have even strength from the jammer line. Virginia down 1 blocker. Pale Raptor on the line for Vermont.
We are sitting here in turn 1, so we don't have a great view of who those jammers are until they come around here.
Yeah, it looks like Garris for Virginia. Pale Raptor did not play yesterday, came in today and gets lead jam in her first jam of the tournament.
All right, and in a reversal of fortune there, it looks like Garris being sent to the penalty box, so power jam in favor of Vermont.
However, they are sitting with 2 in the penalty box, so the Raptors got a little bit of work to do here. Snatch Kraken out there trying to help, and does as she's going to get through for 4.
As you can see, we've got that pack pretty much at a stop there in turn 3. Pale Raptor coming around for a second scoring pass. Looks like we've also got Garris out of the penalty box. Star Stash through on an initial. Pale Raptor picking up an additional 4 points. Looks like an 8-point jam there for Vermont, bringing it to 14-28. Virginia held scoreless.
And a little time management early on, it looked like, as Raptor waited till just about they got to the line, right to the back of the pack before she called it off.
All right, so slight pack advantage going to Team Virginia this third jam here. Smack Mamba wearing the star for Virginia.
Bertha Blue Blazes for Vermont. Juking up front, just finding a very tough wall from Virginia up front. Both jammers having some trouble getting through, but that's good defense.
Absolutely, both of those groups pushing into turn 1 ever so slowly. They're about to meet right now and just become one big mess. We've got Bertha Blue Blazes down on the inside of turn 1, back up on her feet. Smack Mamba almost saw the outside of turn 1 as an opportunity, but got knocked out. She'll pick up a cut track, so just a series of jammer penalties here in the first 3 jams. I believe that's a total of 4 overall, 2 for each team.
That was a good work from Gingivitis to knock her out on on turn 1 and come back just enough before she came in. Still no lead jam. We are a minute into this jam. Bertha trying to find the outside line, going in, going out, but Virginia is just relentless. A good hit up front from the Virginia defense.
Yeah, I believe that was Raven Darkhold there with a well-timed hit in turn 2. So we've got Smack Mamba out of the penalty box at this point, star in hand. And we've got a star pass off to Flutter Rage for Vermont. Bertha unable to make her way through the pack. Both jammers out, though, now on their initial.
And because of that star pass, there will be no lead jam. So there's only about 20 seconds left in the jam, but that will do it.
Yeah, this jam brought to you by defense. Smack Mama's going to get pushed to the outside of turn 3. While Flutter Rage pulled back to the center of the backstretch there. Those 4 whistles will bring jam 3 to an end.
A 4-0 jam in favor of Virginia there. A long jam. They worked really hard. Pretty good, though. No one went to the box in that penalty. Snatch started out in the penalty box, but no one went to the penalty box there. That was very good.
Smack Mamba.
Oh, that's right.
You're
right.
Right there. And
you're right.
You know, 2 minutes is a lifetime.
we
forgot about it.
That's right. They were on a power jam that Virginia held down pretty well. Good penalty kill.
All right, so next up, it looks like we've got Lambert wearing the star for Virginia.
And Black Mamba for Vermont, and she is out in front as the lead. She did not jam much yesterday, but when she did, she was effective.
Looks like we've got Lambert completing an initial pass there out of turn 2. It's a nice little look back there for Black Mamba, realizing that Lambert was coming around fast on turn 1. Call it off. It'll be a 0-0 jam. 32 points for the Virginia All-Stars, 14 points for Vermont. 12:30 left to go in the first half.
So if you want more information about the tournament here, you can check out BOTAS on Facebook and Instagram to stay up, or you can search by searching Battle of the All-Stars 2019. Sable back on the track after having to sit out some jams and goes immediately back to the penalty box. That is her third jammer penalty of the game.
Yeah, it looks like that was a forearm there. So Stonewallop out skating solo this time around. And without Sable having picked up lead jammer, that is still open for Stonewallop, which they'll pick up right here. So it looks like this is the first time that Virginia has picked up lead in the first 5 jams.
Yet they still hold that lead. So
Yep.
we've had those couple where there was no jammer as a lead.
Stonewallop with a quick 4 points, making that pass look easy there on turn 3. We've got Sable out of the box rather, with a big jump there in turn 4. A quick little slip right back up. That'll complete an initial. Stonewallop with another, it'll be a 3-point pass this time around. They'll go ahead and call it off.
0 points for Vermont and 7 for Virginia on that jam, 39-14. Nearing the halfway mark in this first half. One in the box from each side as Shank is sitting down in the box for Virginia, and Curb Stomp is up and ready to come on as the pivot out of the box. Pale Raptor on the line for Vermont. Thank goodness she's tall so I can know who it is.
Right, up against Garris, it looks like. So we're kind of falling into, it looks like the same jammer rotation that we had the first 4. It's a quick whistle there. Pale able to put 1 point on the board after Vermont being held scoreless for 3 jams. That'll bring them to 15. This time around, Virginia scoreless, still at 39. 10 minutes left to go.
Those little quick points, although they don't seem to really feel like they add up to much. If you can hold that other team to nothing, it really is huge. So we've got a timeout here. It looks like an official review from the Vermont team. We'll take that moment and give you a timeout brought to you by 187 Killer Pads. They've been designing and constructing pads for top professional athletes for the past decade. Started by a longtime skater and a family-owned upholstery shop, 187 Killer Pads has since become the preferred choice of skaters worldwide. With its visionary designs and revolutionary systems, 187 Killer Pads continue to lead the way in rising industry standards and making protective gear better. Follow them on Instagram and on the web at 187killerpads.com. So they are discussing, I'm not sure exactly what they're discussing here, but it looked like maybe they're trying to just grab a point or I'm not sure, but we'll find out as soon as we can.
Yeah, just kind of the way that Garris came in and around here on turn 1 before that jam got called off. It seemed like the players were in their places and the jam was kind of being called off as she came around, but I'm not sure if they're going to look for anything in that instance because she just came in pretty fast into the back of that pack.
And they do have the new back block rule, which is being implemented in this year as well, so that might be what they're looking for as well. They have been calling it pretty well, the refs have that call, so they're I was actually talking to some of the skaters yesterday about the rule changes and everything, and I made the equivalent to like a spring training for baseball. Mm-hmm. What a better place than BOTAS to really come in and really try out those rules in a non-league setting so they can kind of get used to it.
Yep. And, in a situation like this, too, it's great because you're bringing in skaters from so many different places, officials as well, so that you can really have a good conversation and get a lot of different opinions, viewpoints, interpretations. You really get a good conversation about something like this.
Yeah, and that it also helps the skating refs because they have to adjust as well. And roller derby is still evolving, and as it always has been. So the rules do change, seem to be quite often, and when they happen, it's trying to just get everyone on the same page. And so far this weekend, it's been wonderful.
Excellent. So we were talking a little bit earlier, Peter, about where these teams will go after this game today. So I know we're still in the midst of this official review, so let's use that time to talk about what's coming up later for either of these two teams.
So the winner of today's game will take on the winner of the Saskatchewan-Maryland game. That would take place on noon. They play at 3 o'clock today.
Okay.
The loser will play Kentucky, who just took a loss to Louisiana earlier today. And they will play at 7:30 tonight.
Gotcha.
So we're in overall for the tournament, we're in game number 11, but game 2 for the day.
Okay.
So it was a long day yesterday.
Yeah. And the winner of this game certainly would have a decent-sized break before they've got to play again. That's impressive.
That is nice, and I think both teams are looking forward to that break because they both have played some very tough games, and they're just ready. Virginia played twice yesterday, so it's nice to see them out here. They're playing very well. And later on, of course, the last game of last night was between California and Pennsylvania. I was lucky enough to be on the house call for that, and it was a wonderful game. Pennsylvania, they played a very controlled game, but they hadn't played a game yet. California had played earlier in the day. For a good chunk at the very start of the second half, California was creeping back, and then Pennsylvania's defense and 6-jammer rotation kept them fresh, so it was really good for them.
Man. Well, thanks for the update, because having missed yesterday, it's nice to get these little tidbits of information. Work. Always in the way of derby. All right, so it looks like we've got the officials back in their respective positions. No one sitting in the penalty box.
All right.
We should be able to give you an update on what that official review was about and how it turned out in just a few moments.
So Vermont was asking for a low block on the black jammer, like you were saying, and they did win that review, and the black jammer will be going to the penalty box.
All right. So it just hadn't happened yet.
It just hadn't happened yet. So Garris, that's her second penalty as a jammer, so a power start for Vermont, and here we go. Looks to be Bertha Blue Blazes taking the star for Vermont.
Last time Bertha was out, had a pretty hard time getting through the pack. She handed the star off to Flutter Rage in an effort to, get that initial pass completed for Vermont.
Virginia doing a very good job here. We're about 30 seconds in. The jammer from Virginia is up, and because no lead has been established yet, she can take that lead unless Bertha can get through at the front of the pack. Getting a little help from Pumpkin up front, but now she's forced to brace. Pumpkin sent to the box.
A pretty tight group there of Virginia blockers holding Bertha back. We've got Garris pushing forward, making her way through, picking up a lead. So out of the box, picking up lead, and Bertha still not able to complete that initial pass. Looks like we've got a star pass once again.
And that's going to go to a Midnight Crasher taking the star, but gets drawn back well by the Virginia defense.
We've got Garris putting 4 points on the board.
Pumpkin coming back from the penalty box, see if she can help out Crasher here. Meanwhile, Garris through for another scoring pass.
We got the pack pretty stymied there in turn 3. It seems to be the sticking point a lot of times. Not too difficult a situation, though, for Garris. an additional 4 points on the board for Virginia.
This definitely seems like the defensive pack for Virginia. They've just held the Vermont Jammers from getting anywhere. As that jam comes to a conclusion, she's going to pick up 4 additional points on that last pass. So 16 on the jam for Garris after starting out in the penalty box.
Yeah, Virginia with 2 big jams on the board so far. We had that 24-point jam from Stonewall, first jam of the game, and then 16 points here from Garris. Came out of the penalty box after picking up that low block in the end of the previous jam.
All right, Skate Monster at the line for Virginia. Getting ready to take on Black Mamba.
Black Mamba on the line for Vermont. Skate Monster for Virginia. Circle XR doing a good job to knock out and fall back and force Skate Monster to go to the back of the pack. Black Mamba sneaks through the inside. A good clear from the inside from Gingivitis.
Yeah, that opened up for just a hot second. She took it.
She's very quick on her toe stops and able to get right through there.
So we've got Vermont losing a blocker to the penalty box. So that's 1 each for the teams in the penalty box. Skate Monster completing an initial pass for Team Virginia. Black Mamba on the ground there in turn 2, gets herself back up and calls it off. So 2 points on the board for Vermont. That's going to bring them to 17 points. Virginia held scoreless in that one. They are still at 55, 6.5 minutes left to go.
I want to give a shout out here to Bucks Mountain Roller Derby for hosting the BOTAS 2019, and this is the 6th year of this tournament. It's a wonderful, my first chance to come down here and see.
Too.
So this has been a wonderful experience for me, and it's great to see so many skaters from all over the country.
Yep.
And North America, really, because
Yeah.
we got a team from Saskatchewan
Yep.
as well.
All right, Stonewall out in front, picking up a lead jammer for Team Virginia.
Sable right behind.
Coming around turn 2, Stonewall takes it to the inside, calls it off as soon as they get through the pack. That's 4 points on the board. Vermont held scoreless.
Yeah, Sable was coming up pretty quick. I wasn't sure if she could be able to snag one, but calling up just in time. 59-17 with 5.5 minutes to go here in the first half.
All right, 5.5 minutes left to go.
So Pale Raptor on the line for Vermont. 2 good jams so far, lead in both that she has been out there for.
We'll see different styles. You have height versus speed. Let's see what happens here.
All right, that's Garris wearing the star for Virginia. Garris, I blinked and I missed her picking up a lead jammer there here in the front stretch.
She just snuck right around the inside of Ivory Tower to get through and get that lead.
But, you know, she comes around on a scoring pass, meaning she's going to have to see Pale Raptor first as a bit of defense. Garris sure-footed here in turn 1, staying in bounds, picking up 4 points. Pale Raptor still looking to pick up complete an initial, rather. Takes it to the outside of turn 2 and is recycled well into turn 1, while Garris puts another 4 points on the board. Pale Raptor seeing a quick opening on the inside of turn 2, completing an initial about a minute in. Garris now in the midst of the pack as they approach turn 3. Pile up there, Garris will call it off on her way to the ground. An additional 4 points on that pass.
12-point jam for Virginia. They've got this first half pretty good control. As we're going to see curb stomp, we're going to see a timeout first. Real quick. 888. Derby isn't your typical sport. It's more like a carefully choreographed mosh pit on wheels. That's why we make protective gear, specially designed for those who lay it out on the track. We cover heads, elbows, wrists, knees, hips, and yes, even butts. Because being derby is one thing, but being derby dominant is another. Check them out at their website, 888.com, and also find them on Instagram.
A carefully choreographed mosh pit on wheels. Never been in a mosh pit, haven't been on roller skates since I was 12.
I like to liken roller derby to a cross between like hockey, rugby, and hockey and rugby.
Okay, all right. I usually throw NASCAR in there.
Yeah,
little
that
bit,
too.
Just because of all of that turning left.
Yeah, I could totally see the left turn.
Right?
So Vermont takes this timeout, their first of the game. Of course, they did use their official review and won, so that kind of helped use as a timeout, even though they were able to win their review. So Country Jam on the line for Virginia, Curb Stomp on the line for Vermont.
Yeah, neither of these two skaters have worn the star thus far, and we're in Jam 11.
Both did jam yesterday in the games they played. Curb Stomp was a big part of the jam rotation yesterday.
It looks like Country Jam is almost going to like stumble her way through into lead jammer privilege out of the pack, and basically approaching the pack as Curb Stomp is looking to complete an initial here on turn 1. Country Jam takes it to the outside of turn 1 for a scoring pass. It's like no one even saw she was there.
Those Virginia jammers are loving the outside lines. They're not trying to go through the middle. They're finding the holes on the corners and just making it through.
This time taking it to the inside of turn 2 with a hop, skip, and a jump. That's another 4 points for Country Jam and Team Virginia.
Just a little mini apex jump.
Sure, yeah, you know,
Good
mini
start.
with lots of flourish, whatever, as long as you get those points.
And through again for another 4. The Virginia defense is just stifling Vermont throughout this first half. 12 points up on the board as she comes around for another scoring pass.
This time around, Country Jam finding it a little bit more difficult, not seeing an inside-outside opening, kind of taking it straight through the middle.
We have seen a star pass from Curb Stomp to Siraquel XR. And she does get through, Siraquel does, but not before Country Jam had already gone through and scored 4 more points.
Yeah, so that's 16 points Jam before Sarah Quill even is able to make it through the pack. Country Jam's going to call it off as she completes a last one, so that's another 4 points, a 20-point Jam for Country Jam.
Good hustle at the end of there as Sarah Quill is able to sneak 2 points away before the call was done.
Yeah, Vermont held scoreless the last 2 jams, so that 2 points there will bring them to 19. Virginia, after a 20-point jam, will be at 91. So a little palindrome score, and we're just under 2 minutes left to go in the first half.
And up next, we're going to have Colorado versus Montana. So stay tuned for our next
All right, so
game.
it looks like Skate Monster for Team Virginia and the Jessecutioner
You got
for
it.
Vermont.
Did jam some yesterday. Both of them did. Jessecutioner was more of a relief jam, but got into some jammer penalty issues, but gets lead in this jam, and it's going to be a power jam as the jammer there, Skate Monster, goes to the penalty box for Virginia. See if Vermont can take advantage of the power jam here. They haven't really had much luck so far this game in that.
Jessecutioner picking up lead jammer privilege for Vermont. That's the first time in 4 jams that they've been able to pick that up.
Excellent job. Picks up first 4. Sable to the penalty box is a blocker. That's number 4 on penalties. We'll double check at the half just to make sure as we're winding down. 50 seconds on the period clock and a minute on the jam clock as we run down.
Just have a good view here of the front stretch with Jessecutioner just not able to push forward on Virginia to pick up more than 2 points. But that'll be a total of 6 for Vermont this jam. That'll bring them to 25. Virginia held scoreless 91. About 30 seconds left to go.
Looks like Virginia has taken their official review here. And again, we'll find out the alternate ref doing a wonderful job of letting us know what's going on. And our alt ref, actually, well, we got a minute. Let's go over our refs on
absolutely.
skate here. So our head ref today is Chris Brace. Our jam refs are Rob U. Blind and the answer. And then we've got inside pack ref, Tim the ref, outside pack ref, Guinness. As we said, our alternate ref, Steel City Kitty. Chemical Restraint is on the outside, and Peaches is also on the outside.
Excellent, excellent, excellent.
Elbows, wrists, knees, hips, and yep, even butts. Because being derby ready is one thing, but being derby dominant is another.
So we talk about how the skaters have all this work they do, and they're working really hard. But these refs are skate like every other game, you know, and it's amazing that they come down and they volunteer their time to do that.
I was going to say that some of the names that you called just now, I had seen out there in the previous jam. I'm like, man, that's just got to be exhausting. Skating every jam and then back-to-back games.
Yeah, this is about half the crew out there skated and reffing in the last game. I would hope they get a break. I think they do, but they're rotating in just like we as the announcers are. We're always always have to be ready to go.
Yeah. Yep. All right, so we're still sitting in this Team Virginia official review. I don't even have anything to offer. If there's a particular reason why they called it, nothing that I saw that like stood out to me. But just to kind of do a quick wrap up, Team Virginia with some huge jams here, multiple lap jams against Stonewall 24-point jam right there in the first jam of the day. But, we had Garris, who was sent to the penalty box on a low block late in a jam. She came out of the penalty box, picked up lead, and put 16 points on the board.
Yeah, 16, and big ones on the board.
And then Garris came back with another 12-point jam. And then just recently we had Country Jam putting the star on for the first time in this game with a 20-point jam herself. So that 91 points has really kind of come from a handful of solid multiple lap jams.
Yeah, when Vermont's defense has been able to stay together and not be broken apart and hold those lines, they've done pretty well. But like we were saying earlier, Virginia's finding those lines, and it looks like I'm guessing that. Well, we're going to find out here in just a second.
All right, so Peter's going to get that official review information for us. But what I can tell you is that the Jessecutioner is sitting in the box, and Stone Wallop is wearing the star for Team Virginia, picking up lead right there. So tell us about that official review.
So the official review, thank you to Steel City Kitty for coming over and telling me, was the black team. Virginia asked for a low block penalty on the Vermont team, and that was awarded as Jessecutioner was sent back to the box to start this jam.
So, I mean, Stone Wallop is not necessarily who I would want there out on a power jam, but my goodness, I don't know if you guys were able to see that on the feed, but Jessecutioner came out of that penalty box with afterburners on. No one even realized she was there. Quick initial pass, so great job being able to hold Stone Wallop down to, it looks like, just 7 points.
Yeah, she just flew right through.
That was impressive.
That was really good. It's Virginia was preoccupied.
Yes, exactly. All right, so we are in intermission. We've got Virginia All-Stars and Stone Wallop picking up 7 points in that last jam, bringing them to 98. Vermont All-Stars held scoreless that last jam at 25. We'll see you back here in a little more than 5 or 7 minutes.
Yeah.
One jam where there was no lead jammer at all. But then it's weird because you look at that score of 91 to 20, or 98 rather, to 25. And it's interesting because both teams have picked up lead 6 times.
It's a very odd situation when you were telling me that. It's it seems like it's been Virginia dominated. It just hasn't been.
Yep. But, keep in mind that one of those 6 leads for Vermont, they ended up losing lead, and that was in the first jam there, where it was a matchup of Stone Wallop versus Sable. And Sable picked up that jammer penalty after picking up lead, and Stone Wallop came in with a huge 24-point jam. So that really set the stage. But overall, we had 3 jammer penalties for Virginia, or 3 power jams given up by Virginia, 4 power jams given up by Vermont.
And we are back underway. Pale Raptor on the line for Vermont, quickly getting near the front, but knocked out of bounds. That looked to be Ziploc that hit her to the outside. Pale Raptor looking to get in there. Looks to be Garris back out there for Virginia. Vermont doing a good job. A good hit there by Sable as a blocker to knock her out. and Pale Raptor has come through as the lead.
Pale Raptor, actually the lead scoring jammer for Vermont in the first half, picking up 11 of their 25 points.
And Pale Raptor did not play yesterday, so she's got a little fresher legs than the rest of the team here. So good move to throw her out here at the beginning, but sent to the penalty box here. It looks like a back block, and that will be her first penalty of the game. So they are going to lose the lead jam. This jam will go the full 2 minutes, about a minute left in the jam.
Yeah, we've got Garris, who's completed an initial pass, but is being pushed out to the outside of turn 1 in an attempt to put some points on the board for Virginia.
Good work up front by Sable, and looks to be gingivitis up there up front. Good push to the outside. Sable being sent to the box, and Garris getting through.
Yeah, Sable picking up a forearm there in that melee.
Still good work from the Vermont defenses. They were able to only let those 4 points go through on that power jam.
So we've got Pale Raptor out of the penalty box at this point. We've also got Garris through for an additional 4.
And that is a scoring pass for Vermont. That looks like she got knocked out, but going through and picking up the 4 points, the full 4 points for Raptor. 0 on that last try for Garris.
All right, so those 8 points from Garris will bring Virginia over the 100-point mark there. So Virginia 106, Vermont picking up 4, bringing them to 29.
So fouls in the first half were relatively even, 12-9. Really the only one in trouble was Sabotage Sabal, who picked up 3, 2 as a jammer, 1 as a blocker, and she just picked another one up in this first. With a flash goes through Smack Mamba as the lead jammer before turn 1. Jessecutioner trying to get through, has 2 to beat up front, but Virginia recycling well up front.
And then just being knocked down time and time again, first by Country Jam and then by Raven Darkhold, being recycled back behind the pivot line. Smack Mamba looking to take it to the inside of turn 1 and being sent to the penalty box for a back block. So back-to-back power jams, in the first 2 jams, but jammers picking up lead and then losing it.
So again, another full 2 minute jam here. There's still over a minute left in this jam. Jessecutioner has not made her initial pass yet, so they've got to try to get her through.
Okay, she's going to get knocked down hard on the backstretch and then recycled back by Country Jam. Looks like entering back in around turn 2. Getting pushed to the inside, but then knocked right to the center by Raven Darkhold. You know, that 1-2 punch of Country Jam and Raven Darkhold has just been Jessecutioner's worst nightmare this jam.
She just looks like a pinball that just going everywhere right now. Neither one able to get through. A good attempt at a block there by Felon of Troy, but Smack Mamba able to get through and score 4 points.
Jessecutioner now kind of coming around the front stretch, but being knocked to the inside. A Smack Mamba through for another 4 points. It's 8 points on the board so far for Virginia.
Felon of Troy going to the box for Vermont, and that is Swiss Spanker for Virginia going to the box as well.
And, you know, I was just about to comment that the Jessecutioner losing her pivot to the penalty box could be a big deal. You know, Vermont has used that star pass to advance their jammers, but at the same time, the Jessecutioner got sent to the penalty box, so it'll be a power start for Virginia. So we're just coming into the 3 jams, and we've already had 3 jammer penalties.
This is crazy. Almost identical to the way the first couple jams started. Of course, we are in game 11, game 2 of the day here at BOTAS 2019. If you're a Twitterer, use the official hashtag BOTAS2019.
All right, looks like we've got Skate Monster wearing the star for Team Virginia. Again, in a power start with Jessecutioner sitting in the penalty box. Looks like a no pass, no penalty, so no lead for Skate Monster, leaving it open for Jessicutioner.
Felon of Troy back on the track, as well as Swiss Spanker. Jessicutioner back on the track as the jammer for Vermont.
All right, so we do have Virginia with 3 points on the board. Skate Monster able to pick those up in turn 3. Jessicutioner being held there pretty solidly in the backstretch.
That Virginia 3-wall has just been super solid today.
Stunning. All right, so we've got Jessicutioner taking the star off, and her pivot kind of hanging back with her.
Of course, they started this jam in the box together.
And it looks like we do have a star pass off to Felon of Troy. In the meantime, we've got another scoring pass. That's 4 points on the board for Skate Monster. That'll bring them to 7.
Good footwork by Felon of Troy to stay in on turn 4, as she almost got leveled, but just kind of jumped to stay in bounds. And that was her initial pass.
11 points so far for Skate Monster. Felon of Troy being out of the pack completes the initial for Vermont. Skate Monster with plenty of confidence in her Virginia defense as she's going around for another scoring pass.
Jam time running down, just about over. And done here. Looks like Virginia's going to pick up 3 additional points. And Vermont as well is going to pick 3 up on that backside. It's a good job by Jessicutioner to take back 3 points there, or even it out that last round.
All right, so 14-point jam there for Skate Monster. So first 3 jams in, we've had a handful of jammer penalties so far, just in these first 3. But numbers from Vermont, an 8-point jam, a 12-point jam, a 14-point jam, it's going to bring them to 132, and we've got Vermont at 32 points. 12 and a half minutes left to go.
Black Mamba on the line for Vermont. And can't quite see the number. Again, we're on turn 1. We can't quite see.
Looks like it's Stone Wallop.
You're right. That is Stone Wallop. They are out there. Some really good jams in the first half.
Stone Wallop through, picking up a lead jammer privilege for Team Virginia.
River Song headed to the penalty box for Virginia as Stone Wallop comes around for their first scoring pass.
All right, 4 points on the board for Stone Wallop and Team Virginia.
A star stash turned into getting through the pack for Black Mamba, puts it back on, and no points for Vermont, and her speed there caused Virginia have to call that off.
Yeah, Stone Wallop held to 4 points, bringing them to 136. Vermont All-Stars, 32.
All right, with 11 minutes to go. Up next at the line, we have Garris for Virginia taking on Pale Raptor.
All right, looks like a repeat of the first jam of the second half here. Garris for Virginia, Pale Raptor for Vermont.
And a pivot line start. Oh, the old days.
All right, Garris is going to take a quick hit to the inside of turn 1. Recycled back pretty quickly. Same thing, Pale Raptor being pushed to the inside of turn 1 and recycled. Garris looking for an opening on the inside. Is able to keep on her toe stops, going to pick up lead jammer for Virginia. Pale Raptor, though, hit after hit there in the backstretch.
She was bounced around there by the Vermont defenders, but just able to stay on her feet, keep her balance, and get through.
Pale Raptor pushed to the outside of turn 3 and backed up into turn 2. Meanwhile, Garris threw for 4 points for Virginia.
Spin out there by Garris, picking up the 4 points.
That defense there from Virginia in turn 3, really just holding on to Pale Raptor and not allowing her much forward momentum at all. She's going to go down hard, and it looks like taking Scoriental Express with her. Both of those 2 skaters a little bit slow to get up.
Gingivitis to the box with her first foul for Vermont. And Zion Nara in there. And a back block called on Pale Raptor with about 30 seconds left in this jam, power jam, to
This, so right here, Garris in a power jam already has 12 points on the board, and we have a full penalty box for Vermont. So quick pass for Vermont, another 4 points. That'll bring her to 16. You know, sometimes a one blocker out there can do a lot of work. So Garris slowed down on that last scoring pass. We'll call it off after picking up an additional 4 points. That is a 20-point jam for Garris, bringing Virginia 156. Vermont held scoreless, still at 32.
Yeah, good work at the end there by Midnight Crasher. You know, she's a tiny one, but she held her own there, and just enough to get another blocker back on the track. Looks like Pumpkin is up in the box. It looked like she was flashing about 7 seconds before she gets back on. Of course, you can't, as viewers, see them, but they are able to stand up in the box. When they're standing up in the box, it means they have 10 seconds left, and then they're able to be released. Waiting to go into the penalty box here because it was full before is Flutter Rage. She will go sit down. The 13's not so lucky on that jam, as she's wearing number 13, of course, Pumpkin wearing number 13. Time out here from the Vermont All-Stars. We'll sneak in and say this is brought to you by Spank Alley, the only fully adjustable roller derby armband on the market. They ship worldwide, so please go check them out at spankalley.com.au.
All right, so we had Flutter Rage going to the penalty box, but now back out of the penalty box. So it's just Pumpkin with something under 10 seconds left to go.
Yeah.
So a very quick, short, minimal pack advantage for Team Virginia.
And that will be Vermont's last chance to have any time stoppage here. No official review remaining, and that was their second used timeout. Sable back on the track, jamming for Vermont with 4 fouls.
And we've got Country Jam picking up lead jammer for Team Virginia. Let's keep in mind, Country Jam out there just once in the first half, picked up 16 points.
A good hit on turn 1 by Pumpkin to knock Country Jam out. Got some help from Bertha Blue Blazes.
Country's going to take it to the outside of turn 2. Very exaggerated. And I think in large part because the last time she was out there, she came around pretty much at the same spot, went to call it off, and it seemed like there was a little bit of a delay in the actual whistles being blown to call it off, allowing the Vermont jammer to sneak in 2 points before it was officially called off.
Yeah, if I recall right, that was Sarah Quill who had taken the star on that.
Man, how do you do that?
Weird memories.
I'm impressed.
Of course, I've known a lot of the Green Mountain skaters. Pumpkin skated up there, and when I was up there, I actually coached the lats. So 2 years ago, I coached up for Green Mountain and do video and announcing otherwise.
Gotcha. So you've had eyes on them for a long time.
I have.
All right. So we've got Black Mamba for Vermont out in front, picking up lead, going against Skate Monster for Virginia. A quick call off.
It's at least the second one of those situations that she's had where she's been able to get lead, but Virginia have been right on their tail and forced a 0-0 call off.
So we've got let's see, 32 points for Vermont. They've been held scoreless in the last 4. This is the first time that Virginia's been held scoreless in the second half. They're still at 158. We've got about 7 minutes left to go. That actually, Black Mamba picking up lead was the first time that Vermont has picked up lead since the first jam in the second half.
Oh, wow. And, of course, that was ended up as a power jam as Pale Raptor went to the penalty box. Right now, we've got Stonewallop on the track. They are trying to get through the last of the blockers and do. Jessecutioner jamming and good open line there from that looked to be Bruce Ventuna that was able to open a line up there.
So, you know, only 2 Virginia blockers out there, but a great job in really containing that Vermont defense. Stonewallop able to make a quick apex jump on turn 2, picking up 4 points. We've got the Jessecutioner completing an initial pass for Vermont.
And it looks like maybe Virginia's playing the long point here to empty out the penalty box. They've got 2 up and standing. Jessica Kushner picks up 4 more points there.
One blocker back out there. T's the last one doing it.
All right, so these 2 jammers just lap for lap at this point. It's 8 for 8. We've got Stonewall up through for an additional 4. That'll be a 12-point jam so far. This may be a little bit of a break. Jessica Kushner goes down here in turn 1, while Stone Wallop is able to complete an additional scoring pass. So a lap ahead now for Virginia All-Stars and Stone Wallop.
And good work from the Virginia core to knock Jessica Kushner out. She tries to play a little defensive jamming and a little mini apex jump there from Stone Wallop as they are able to pick up 4.
Yeah, and we've got the the Virginia bench rather, right next to us. So I'm sure you heard that upswell of cheer when Stone Wallop took that apex jump. One last pass there coming out of turn 2, calling it off. So we had Stone Wallop start off the bout altogether with a 24-point jam in the first jam of the first half. Once again, another 24-point jam for Stone Wallop.
It's a lucky number. That's also, I think, aside from maybe one other jam. Oh, yeah.
Yes, that instant replay of Stone Wallop just taking that apex. Yep. They saw it, they took it, they made it theirs. 24 points on that jam for Stone Wallop.
Pale Raptor on the line for Vermont up front, but having trouble getting through. Number 2, Garris back out there, a rematch again. At least a 3rd time this half.
Yep.
And Pale Raptor takes the lead. And Vermont does have the pack advantage. As I say that, Schemstress being sent to the penalty box.
The announcer curse. And another apex jump there from Team Virginia, not to be outdone by Stone Wallop. Garris picks up 4 points with a beautiful jump.
And Pale Raptor about a half a lap behind there. Just going to call that an even jam, 4-4.
And again, that instant replay of the apex jump there in turn 3 from Garris to pick up 4 points. There we go. Well done. I can't even jump like that in sneakers, let alone on skates with people trying to knock me down. All right, so it looks like 4-4 in that last jam. Virginia All-Stars 186, Vermont All-Stars 48. About 3 minutes left to go.
Curb stomp jamming for Vermont. Smack Mamba for Virginia. She gains the lead, but curb stomp right on her tail. Actually, a smidge ahead, playing some offense. A good job to knock her out.
Oh my goodness, that looked so beautiful.
The Bertha Blue blazes as Kirby fed her to her and just knocked her down.
Absolutely. And what a great way to just kind of have this jam play out. I don't know if we've seen both jammers get out of the pack so quickly together and have it be a foot race all the way around.
You know, Curb slowing down a little bit here as Mamba's coming to the back of the pack. Gets through, and we'll see if they give Vermont any additional points here. None there, but all the 4 for Virginia. 2 minutes, 20 seconds left. We have an official timeout.
Yes, so we've got the instant replay coming up. So Kirby just, oh, God, beautiful. Literally just feeds Smack Mamba right into her blocker, who just is right place, right time, a little bit of hip swing.
Yeah, Blazes did a good job. I don't know if she saw her there or just kind of felt it happening, but that was just a beautiful jammer defense and able to get the points there. So 8-4 jam there for Virginia. We have an official timeout. Again, we want to say thank you to our host from Bucksmont Roller Derby Dolls for hosting this tournament. For everyone that goes into getting this tournament ready, you've got V Diva, who is the founder and organizer. You've got Ria Culpa, the game tournament oversight, the head referee, Axis of Stevel, head NSO channel. Photography is Andrew Keys, our head announcer, and the head of all of it is Kent Smith. and just unbelievable. They've done a wonderful job. It's been a great experience. Out there jamming is Skate Monster for Virginia and Black Mamba for Vermont.
All right, Skate Monster heading to the box for Virginia.
And that is going to be a power jam for Vermont as Skate Monster goes to the box. And Black Mamba gets the lead for Vermont, a well-needed lead here. They're gonna try to finish out strong.
Smiles for Black Mamba now looking to come around for a scoring pass.
Black Mamba's out there with Snatch McCracken, Sarah Quill XR, Felon of Troy, and Pumpkin Carve Her, but Black Mamba also being sent to the penalty box. So we have a jammer swap as Skate Monster back on the track.
Skate Monsters released.
Now Black Mamba released as well and back on.
Quickly afterward, Black Mamba already released.
Black Mamba on a scoring pass. Of course, this will go that full 2 minutes. We got about a minute left, just under that, in this jam. Pumpkin headed back to the penalty box.
Things are grinding down with about 30 seconds left to go in.
Talk about being bounced around there. Skate Monster here coming out of turn 2. Knocked down in the front stretch. Up and is going to pick up 4 points for Virginia.
Black Mamba has 2 to beat up front for Vermont. Of course, she is on a scoring pass, initially given lead in this jam. Sarah Quill XR to the box for Vermont while Pumpkin comes back on. Good hit from number 19, Angry Penguin, to knock Black Mamba out there to stop her from getting all 4 points as Virginia picks up 2 on that last pass.
So that'll be a 10-point jam for Virginia All-Stars. 2:04, Vermont All-Stars 55. Looks like we are coming down into the last couple of seconds. We've got a report of an unofficial final up there, but it looks like Team Virginia is going to be able to, pick up that team timeout.
Looked like there was about 2 seconds left on the clock when they were awarded the timeout, so they're trying to get that one more jam in.
In the meantime, Vermont, please tell
Of course, there's some
Virginia
teams out here. Massachusetts did it yesterday, and they've been kind of notorious for it, sending out the jammer pack for the last jam of the day.
I've heard stories of that. But
Kansas
never seen it in real
Kansas
life.
did it. They both did it yesterday
Yeah.
when they played each other, so it was really cool to see. Because of the winner of the game from yesterday, Kansas against Vermont played Massachusetts. Massachusetts won handily, but it was a really good game. Just Massachusetts was just able to hold on. They had fresh legs, and Kansas playing their second game.
On the final jam. And that is Gingivitis as well at the line.
So 3 seconds left on the game clock.
Looks like we are going to be back at it in just a moment.
Virginia and Vermont makes the noise. Let's go.
All right, so we'll be headed into the last jam. Team Virginia really excited about this last one here. That's Ray Gun wearing the star for the first time today for Virginia, picking up lead.
And Gingivitis for Vermont, I believe it's her first jam as well.
Absolutely. So we've got a scoring pass on the board there for Ray Gun.
It's happened so quick.
Yeah. It was there in turn 2, and then Reagan was out with 4 points. Quick little hop, but then she's going to meet one of her blockers, River Strong, there.
And good job from Vermont to regroup and get back and get in front of her, but still able to get through as she took a hit from Black Mamba, but just kind of shrugged it off.
All right, so Reagan's got an additional 4 points on the board. I believe that'll be 12 points thus far.
Good job to keep her feet in bounds as Ginger, as she just about got knocked out on turn 4.
Reagan's not done. Another 4-point pass. That'll be a 16. Ginger coming through, looking to put some points on the board for Vermont before this gets called off. 30 seconds left on the jam clock.
And good work from Gingivitis as she's able to get through. penalties starting to pile up on the Virginia side here, but it doesn't seem to matter.
All right, so it looks like a last 4-point pass from Raygun before calling it off. I see 12 points on the board, but I had more passes than that. I think the scoreboard is just going to catch up to us in just a few moments. It seems a bit frozen. But I think we can say without a doubt Virginia All-Stars going to take this one. So that means they will be playing tomorrow at noon against the winner of the Saskatchewan versus Maryland game. And then we're going to have Vermont playing at 7:30 today against Kentucky, who just played in the last game.
You got it. So as the consolation bracket, which both of them are in, Saskatchewan and Maryland, I would say they play a little later this afternoon. I think they play at noon. Or no, sorry, 3 o'clock today.
Okay.
So it gives Virginia a chance to kind of rest and get back into this.
Yep, come back super fresh tomorrow. All right, so we've got some victory laps going on, and I believe we're going to have MVP announcements not too long from now. I believe some interviews as well.
You got it. We'll be right back with those interviews.
All right, and I'd like to give a big shout out to Chad Newt, who's done some great work for us today. Oh, thank you so much. Those instant replays, it's the best. So thanks so much to everyone tuning in. Thanks so much to Chad Newt.
Pretty awesome. I mean, this is an awesome experience. It's definitely a higher level of derby play than I'm used to, so it's really encouraging and motivating me for the season, and I'm just really happy and lucky to be here and having a lot of fun. So, yeah, that was a great game.
Of your overall experience, is this your first time here at the BOTAS tournament?
Yes, this is my first time here.
So what has your experience been so far?
So far, well, it was a whirlwind to get here. We had some weather to deal with. It felt a little rushed getting here. But once you're here with your teammates, it feels right and it feels good, and we're calm now and we're just ready to have fun. And that's what we're getting into today, and I'm very excited about that.
All right, so you guys play tonight at 7:30 against Kentucky. What are you looking forward to there?
Oh, wow. I'm looking forward to just continuing on the high level of intensity and playing against some other awesome derby players that I've never gotten the chance to play against, and to just motivate that myself and my teammates, and just have a really positive, fun, and hardworking experience.
All right, anyone you want to throw a shout out to while we got you on air?
Yeah, all my buddies back in Vermont. Hey Jared, hey puppies, we love you.
All right, thank you, Blaze.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be back with our next MVP right after this.
All right, howdy Derby fans. My name is Alota Sarcasm. I am here with Team Virginia MVP, Raven Darkhold. And if you saw that game, you know why MVP is being awarded to Raven Darkhold. Congratulations. How did it feel?
So much. It felt awesome. I mean, I was sad that I couldn't be here yesterday. It was myself and 3 other teammates that couldn't make it because they had to work. But it was awesome to come in. Everyone was super positive, even after our loss yesterday. And we really brought it today. I felt very cohesive today, so it was a great feeling.
Yeah, the defense out there looked great, and you and some of those blockers, Country Jam, Blaxican Ninja, I wouldn't want to meet you guys anywhere if we were on opposite teams.
Oh, I hear that. I mean, I used to skate for River City Roller Derby years ago, and I visit their practices occasionally, so I've seen them play. I played against them, and I'm just happy that I get to play with them at BOTAS, and being on the same team with them is awesome.
And so tomorrow, Team Virginia will take on the winner of, I believe it's either Team Saskatchewan or Team Maryland. So do you have a preference in that?
Well, I love Team Maryland, of course. I used to play for Charm City for 4 years. I just transferred to Charlottesville last season. So it would be nice to play against some of my former teammates, but it would also be nice to play against someone new. So I don't really have a preference. We'll just see what happens.
All right, well, either way, it's going to be fantastic derby. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is MVP Raven Darkhold. I'm a load of sarcasm. Thanks so much.
Okay, kids, so here's what's going to happen. We're going to do the usual chop here in the middle of the stream. That way it's easy to go back later on when the skaters want to find it and take a look at that for reviews and whatever. So I will pause the stream. Don't go anywhere. It's going to come right back, I promise.